I was born and brought up in Abertillery, tight community. I lived with my grandparents. My mother married my stepdad when I was about 4 years old. And for some reason or other, I never went from my grandparents to my mother's and lived with them.
During the Second World War, nearly 3 million American soldiers passed through Britain. 240,000 of them were African American. Some struck up relationships with local women, and an estimated 2,000 children were born. The birth of Mary and other GI babies like her increased the black British population by nearly 30% in just a few years.
Do you remember the day when you were told that your dad was a black American?
My mother told me that, and I thought, oh, that's why I'm different. No conversation. If I might say, oh, you know, what was he like? Oh, yeah, all right. And then you go on to the next thing.
There's a massive question mark.
It is, isn't it?
Has that affected you in your life, do you think?
I said to somebody the other day, I said, I could see my mother there, but I must be like my dad there. My mother was quiet. I'm a little bit more outgoing. Was he outgoing? Is he outgoing? I don't know.
That's really nice.
So cute.
Yeah.
So how old will you be on there?
About 8 there and that.
It being sort of this age, there's probably questions maybe now.
Questions and name calling.
So how did it make you feel when the children were calling you names and things like that and asking questions? How did that make you feel?
When people call me the N-word, you didn't exactly know what it meant.
Yeah.
But you knew
Just
it was
a word.
colour and it was a word, and you weren't the same as everybody else, and you wanted to do something about it. So I just used to get some bleach and with a cloth and wash my face.
Did anyone know you were doing that, or you just kept that to yourself?
I just kept it to myself. I kept it a lot to myself.
The death of her mother and stepfather 20 years ago prompted Mary to start searching for her dad. The US military provided her with 2 records of soldiers with her father's name, but neither matched the few details she had. I've returned to Bristol to share my latest findings.
Well, Mary, I had a look into your the 2 Herman Askews that you looked into. I thought that was quite a good starting point.
Right.
I looked into this first one, the black one.
Oh, right.
He enlisted in the US Army after you were born, so it was right to rule him out. So I looked at the other one, and I just couldn't quite get my head around the fact that he was white. So I looked into the unit that he was at, and if you look up what that unit is, it's an African American unit, which means that this Herman Askew is a black man. This is your dad.
No.
Yeah, he's your dad. This is your dad.
Away.
Yeah. It was...
It can't be. All that time about that.
Yeah. This is your dad.
I can't, all that time and all those years, I've had that piece of paper.
Well, I've got something else. I've got a photo of him.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, my goodness. Oh, isn't that lovely? He's a handsome chap, isn't he?
He's a good-looking boy.
Oh, isn't he lovely?
Mary has touched down in Chicago, the city her dad chose to start a new life in after the war. She's on her way to meet her sisters for the very first time.
Oh my God!
Oh my gosh!
Hi, Mary. Hello, I'm Mary.
Felicia.
Felicia.
Yes.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm glad you came all this way to meet us.
You're a shorty.
Oh, you're pleased to see me?
Yes.
Oh, dear God.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if they told you, Dad's mother, our grandmother, her name was Mary. Our
Oh, that was
grandmother's name
right.
is Mary Eskew.
That was right. I was named after his mother, so say.
We have some photos.
Saying hi. Hi.
You can have those.
Oh, thank you. For me to go all these years with nothing, to have something like this, it's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Well, we're family now, so it's okay.
There's always been something missing. I've had this hole, I don't know what you would call it, but like a hole there that needs to be filled. So I've grown up all these years as an only child. To find out there's people who are family, that hole is overflowing.